Yes, people, how you doing? Welcome back to Spurs Talk Show and Football Inc. I hope you're all happy and healthy doing the things that you love. For those you love to do them with, smash the like button, please, if you don't mind. If you enjoy these here Friday night footballs with me and two of the finest. Although I've just heard a little rumour that one of them, Johnny H3232, was down a coffee shop the other day. Didn't tell me he was down a coffee shop. Didn't tell me what was going on. I can see him in the background looking astonished. He goes, how does he know? How does he know? I know because I'm mates with a little birdie who tells me things. I just found these things out. And this is the other guys coming in a second. We've got some doorbells. I hope you are all happy and healthy doing the things. I've done that one already, haven't I? Guys, I've done that as well. Just make sure you smashed it. Make sure you hit the subscribe. Make sure you're involved. Look who is in the chat. Easiest fucking rubber arm, Henry. Okay, I'll go to Bodo. Whilst we're doing that, Henry, make sure you book your flights to Bilbao. Sean, I can't afford Bilbao as well. Don't worry about that, mate. Just get yourself there. What's the point of going to Bodo for the semi? Mate, it's like going to a strippers. All they're leaving you with is a semi. You need to go down the brasses, mate. That's what Bilbao's for. It's the final piece of the jigsaw where you actually finish the job. And Henry's like, well, I mean, maybe. I was like, just shut up and book your flights. Yeah, but Sean, there's no flights. There's no direct flights. Don't worry about that. Just figure it out. So what happened, ladies and gentlemen? Not only did I bully Henry I bullied him into buying the Bodo ticket. On top of that, he's got himself a little flight out to Bilbao. Now we've got to get him. He's going to stay with me. Maybe if he's on his best behaviour. Maybe not. Maybe old... Svetlana's going to be in my room with me that night. I don't know. But we'll find out. Let's see who's in the background. What's that? For old time's sake, is that? Where is it? Oh, wait a minute. Who could that be? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. For old time's sake, it's Barrison Royale. How are you, Barry? Good to see you.
I was only coming on two conditions. One, I got the doorbell, and two, I ain't getting bullied into no tickets. Yeah.
Men with the backbone don't get bullied, mate. Rubber arm Henry. No, I'm only kidding, Henry. I'm only kidding. I know you're watching.
Anyway, Henry will be fine. He just needs to do well. If you work it out, it's only about 10 shameless videos about Arsenal, isn't it?
Henry, if you want to come on and embarrass yourself, mate, there's I think the link is still there. It's open to you as well. Who else is at the door? I think we know who this one is. Is that the right? I don't know if that's the right door. I mean, does Ben Kaufman have doorbells, or does he have like old brass knockers? I think he's got like some sort of when he goes to a coffee shop. Johnny, were you at a coffee shop yesterday, mate?
I was indeed. I was at a coffee shop, but I was just about to say Avon calling.
How you doing?
This is your Amazon delivery driver. I saw I couldn't deliver your parcel. I chucked it over the edge last week. I'm sorry you never got it.
How are you, mate? You all right?
I had a parcel that was delivered by the post office. They took a picture of it, shoved in the box with 3/4 of it hanging out. There you go. We delivered it, right? No, you didn't, because someone just come along and pulled it out.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, they've used the picture as evidence that they've delivered it. Right, with 3/4 of it hanging out.
Mate, it probably wasn't somebody else that walked along and pulled it out. It was probably the person who put it half in, took it straight back out again. Barrison, you work in the Amazon world, mate. Does that happen quite a lot? Do your drivers do that?
They have done, yes, and then got caught on people's Ring doorbells.
I'm trying to go through the footage now because we're calling the supplier, saying it hasn't been delivered, and then they gave us the tracking number. It was delivered last week, and they sent a picture of it delivered. But as far as I know, delivered is when it's actually inside the box, not when 3/4 of it is hanging out. Anyway,
I only consider a takeaway delivered when it's in my belly and it's done. Before that happens, before that's finished, it's still up for debate. Johnny, mate, you're a little bit echoey. Can you go back into the settings like you did the other day and turn the echo and the background noise thing settings?
I've got a bit of a problem, Shawnee. Hang on a minute. Let's try this. Is that
Only
better?
one? Yeah, that's much better. immediately better.
Yeah, no. I tell you what happened. I tried for some unknown reason, as you know, StreamYard. Safari does not like StreamYard. So I went into Chrome, and now my Chrome is asking me to update. It doesn't like the current setting I'm on. So I was trying to update Chrome, and it wasn't having it. So I'm now on my iPad.
Okay. You are still a little bit echoey. Have you got the other setting there that you can click as well? Or maybe it's just the room you're in?
Hang on a second.
Background noise and echo cancellation settings should be.
He's just in one of his many rooms, Sean. So it's quite sparse.
Microphone.
Dungeon.
No, I haven't got much. I've just got mic.
Go to the audio. Go to audio. Go to settings at the bottom.
I have, and then audio. Yeah.
Then audio, and then it should give you.
No.
It should. Oh, it doesn't. No. Oh, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's right. It'll do. It'll do. If you like Johnny, you're going to hear him twice.
Give a little.
Maybe I'll only interrupt the first version of you, mate. Maybe the second version will get a chance to finish his point tonight. Right, ladies and gentlemen, there's 134 people in the house. Strap yourselves in. We've got some things to talk about. Listen, on tonight's show, we're talking about Liverpool, the preview. What sort of team do we go with? What sort of seriousness level do we take it? We've got Bodo to think about. We also got a little bit of transfer news and clues. We've got it's the IT support show, support talk show. There you go. Yeah. We've got some exclusives coming out from the man with more exclusives than Bugsy Malone's OnlyFans account regarding Matisse Tell. We have a little bit regarding Atletico Madrid, and they're chasing a second Tottenham transfer target alongside Christian Romero. We have a story regarding another managerial talent. In fact, let's start with this one. We'll bring Liverpool back because no one cares about that game. We care more about what's going on in the future, not what's really happening in the present. Let me share my screen and show you this bad boy. Anyone who hates Ange, how do you feel about this guy? Brendan Rodgers could be tempted by Tottenham. I've got it up. Have I? Pause. Here it is. Brendan Rodgers could be tempted by Tottenham job as big claim emerges, says Carla Devine.
All I can say, Sean, is if we listen to the newspapers right now, we would be signing 36 players and 6 managers. So I just take it all as a pinch of salt at the moment.
Of course. Forget about the strength of the link. I've never heard of this person before, and I don't even know TottenhamHotspurNews.com. It's a lovely little catchy URL. I wish I bought it, but it certainly isn't necessarily noteworthy. However, the story goes on to claim that basically Tottenham progressed to the semi-finals of the Europa League, and should the Lily Whites pick up a trophy this season, Postecoglou have achieved his aims, yada yada yada. And then it goes on to say, writing in the Scottish Daily Mail, Stephen Don, don't know who he is, said, Rodgers is now 52 years old. He came within a whisker winning the English Premier League with Liverpool. He surely still harbours bigger ambitions than racking up trophies or even trebles in Scotland. They said that in the Scottish Daily Mail. Hey, this guy Stephen Don is a brave man for saying that. Jesus Christ! I'm sure there was some petrol at his house. He could have well be tempted at having another tilt at the title down south or moving to a club with Champions League pedigree. Spurs, of course, believe they can tick both of those boxes despite their travails this season. Rodgers has previously shown his abilities in the Premier League, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, long story short, it's basically saying that I can hear myself. I hate hearing myself on an echo. Have you got a pair of earphones, Johnny, that you can stick in, mate?
No. I'll tell you what, I'll come out and I'll try and come back. All right.
All right, buddy. I'll let Barrison take this one away then. Brendan Rodgers, mate. Would he be someone that you wouldn't mind seeing in a Tottenham hot seat next season?
Look, I think these rumours with Brendan Rodgers came out before, right? And it's never as much as this is like the devil in the deep blue sea, right? What do you want? Do you want Ange gone? Do you want Brendan Rodgers? I'm not convinced. It's another Celtic manager that's done well in Scotland, but okay, he has got Liverpool to the brink, but ultimately he's not achieved great stuff in the Premier League, right? So I would.
Most managers haven't, have they? I mean, look, Iriola hasn't done shit in the Premier League. Marco Silva hasn't done anything. Thomas Frank hasn't done anything. At the end of I know that we're comparing apples to oranges with regards to Liverpool and stuff, but Liverpool, that when he was at Liverpool, I'm pretty sure that Chelsea were peak. I'm pretty sure that that City were peak as well. Well, of course, they were. So, like, is the fact that you haven't won before in the Premier League, is that your line in the sand?
No, that's not the barometer, and I'm not sure. You know, we can sit there and say, and I think I've said Frank or Iriola or whoever or Silva or whoever. I just think that we've gone so far down the road now, and it's just got. You know, we've seen the press conferences, we've seen how he's been with everyone. It's just getting worse and worse, spiky and spikier. And I don't think it makes a difference who it is under this ownership, under this, because we know what we're getting, right? So it doesn't matter. You know, we've seen us go from to a win now manager, to a young manager, to a project, to this, to that. Nothing. Whether you're the most successful, I don't even think if Pep Guardiola came, he would come and win anything. Do you know what I mean? It's just that we are just cursed. It was the stadium, the new stadium was built on some Indian burial ground.
Hang on, hold on. You're saying the best manager in the world coming to Tottenham is not going to be able to win anything?
Correct.
Yeah, Ange Postecoglou, the worst manager in the Western Hemisphere, is on the brink of a 45-year trophy drought in Europa League.
Well,
what are you saying? Are you
not in the final? Not in the final, is he, Shawnee? We're not in the final.
Is this an Emerson Royale type take from you, Barry? Are you coming on trying to drop a?
Hey, look, Emerson Royale could win another trophy this season. That'll be 2, mate. So don't start going at Emerson Royale, yeah?
I'm not going at Emerson. I'm going at you, mate. I'm going at you.
Because you know what? This all started when we got rid of Emerson Royale. All these
don't disrespect the GOAT, right?
There was none of these problems, Sean, when Emerson Royale was at this club. When he left, that's when it all started to unravel. It was like, on the jumper, when you got the little thing and you pull it and you think, oh, I'm just going to get it. But you pull it and it all and the arm's off because it's unraveled.
Yeah. He's the thread. He's that loose thread. Okay.
Yeah.
I actually don't disagree, because I think that a lot of our problems this year have been back post on the right side, aerial discipline. And Pedro Porro, as good as he is at a lot of things, he's terrible at many things as well. And one of them is Emerson Royale in the team doesn't concede that goal to Chris Wood, by the way.
No chance.
His positional play, he's going to be tucked in a little bit better. Or he would have been over there anyway. I'm not like a sycophant of Emerson Royale like you are, Barry, but I can recognise the man's talents in the areas that he was good at, and he's almost like the inverse Pedro Porro. I'm not saying, I don't mean the one who steps in rather than stepping out. I mean like a photo that's gone negative. It's like the colours are all completely reversed, because everything that Pedro Porro is good at, Emerson Royale was terrible at, and vice versa.
No, 100%. If you could mould Pedro Porro and Emerson Royale into one player, then you've got the perfect player for that position.
Pedersen Porral. That's what we're going to call him.
I mean, you don't need to mix their names, if I'm honest.
That's true.
You just say, let's mix Emerson's defending and Porro's attacking, and then you've got the player. You don't need to mix their names.
Fair enough. There you go, Johnny. Brendan Rodgers.
Am I echo free?
Not really, but it's okay. It's not the end of the world.
I must be in an echoey room.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, mate. It's okay. It's fine. Barry's just sat there and basically said that the manager doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you have. You could have Jesus Christ himself, superstar, and it wouldn't matter, because we're cursed. So, do you subscribe to that, or what are your thoughts on Brendan Rodgers?
I'd rather not have a thought about. I'd rather have Brenda Rodgers, that well-known international cabaret singer. Listen, look, for me, I hear where he's coming from, but the owner, the head of the pyramid, whilst being a genius financially, has repeatedly made horrendous footballing decisions.
I can tell who you were at the coffee shop with now, listening to that for line out.
No, I'm just listen.
How was Lubo? Was Lubo good fun, was he?
Listen, I'm just stating facts, mate. I'm just stating facts, right? I mean, listen, this is a guy whose first act was to sack George Graham, to put in Glenn Hoddle before a semi-final, then to sack Martin Joel at half-time in a European game, and to sack Mourinho just before a cup final, getting rid of people who were making a difference, whether it be Paul Mitchell. Finally, when Fabio brought in Gabbanini and the rest and started to turn things round, instead of keeping continuity and keeping Gabby there with Steinson, who was very instrumental in getting a lot of the kids to sign with Fabio, he decided, no, I'm going to bring in an Australian cyclist, right, and get him to take over, who put Gabby's nose out of joint, and he left. Steinson left, and then he brought in, as we know, Johan Lang. He then overhauled our medical department, getting rid of Mr. Scott, who'd been there for 20 years. Between Munn and his buddy, Ange Postecoglou, they fell out with the guy. And we all know, what's happened since then. It's been a shit show. And, if you are still looking for a job, if you look on LinkedIn, you can still find a job with Tottenham's medical department. Listen, I would say that I just think that at the end of the day, this club is not cursed. It just happens to be cursed by a guy who leads from the top, who has, after 25 years, as much knowledge of football as he had the day he turned up. And I just think, look where we were. I'm not even going to give the classics, look where we were the night of the Champions League final, where we could have been. They're the classics. But we saw when Fabio came in and brought in Bentancur and Kulu, changed the club around, brought in Destiny, brought in Sarr, brought in Porro. Now, whatever you may think of these players, for the first time in many, many years, we actually have purchased assets that we can resell for a profit or get our money back, right? What's this? It's a plane of four-seater. No, not a four-seater. I just think that,
Henry's winding you up, mate. Henry's saying you've got no idea what you're walking into, mate.
Oh, listen, mate. If you think, honestly, Henry, I've been it, seen it, done it, got the T-shirt, lost the T-shirt, bought another. Okay.
You haven't had a day out with me, mate. Yeah, I'm twice.
No, Johnny, I'll be more worried about Sean. I've had an afternoon out with Sean, and I don't know what Henry's given it the big one for, because he hasn't actually, when he's been away with Sean on away trips, he's been driving and Sean's been drinking. So I don't know why Henry's suddenly giving it the big one now. Henry, this is more shameless than some of your videos, mate. Yeah, you're going to be on that plane dribbling at 1 a.m, going, Sean, help me, hold me,
Sean, I'm going to be sick. What about you, mate? I got Svetlana I got to hold on to. Don't worry about that. I'm smuggling her home.
Before we go on, Sean, can you go back to that comment about the Tifo, please? Because I've got it was right at the start.
Right at the start.
Harrison, listen, for the last 18 months or more, probably last 2 years now, I've been going on about why there isn't a directive from the fan groups to stop with all this plastic bag. I mean, we're an eco club. We won the eco trophy, and yet they're handing out 17,000 black and white plastic bags on Thursday to hold up for this fucking Tifo.
It's 7:44, Sean. But what I want to actually dispel is the club are paying for it. The reason the club are paying for it, and I know this is 100% fact. I forgot to buy my ticket for the Bodo game, so I went on earlier.
Mr. Organ, the guy who, when he finds out if Tottenham are playing in Europe, wherever that European final is, he's buying the flights in August of that year.
Yeah, don't worry. Don't worry, Sean. Don't worry about Bilbao. Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about that.
Well, I'm worried about are you not going to be there on Thursday?
No. So no, I'm not going to be there on Thursday because anyway, regardless of that. Anyway, regardless of that, right? I went to look at my ticket because my ticket was obviously for sale because I hadn't bought it. To me, the ticket was £60. What they've done in the South Stand, they have put all of those tickets to £109. So the club are not self-funding the Tifo. They've upped the prices to pay for the Tifo.
Yeah, but hang on a second. How many? Maybe, and that's whatever. But how many people have actually?
I don't know. But if you look,
mate, you're the only bozo who forgot to book.
No. I wasn't the only bozo, Sean.
I haven't got access to. I get access to the internet intermittently. I use this, right? Even I was on top of that, making sure that I didn't miss that.
Sean, I understand, but what I'm saying is part of that is that the club have increased the prices on the tickets to what they would be to pay for that Tifo. So I agree. That's fine.
Come from somewhere, mate.
100%. And it's better that the club do it than the fans funding it themselves. But ultimately, it's the same thing, no? Yeah, because if the ticket prices have gone up to pay for the ticket, I mean, how much is a Tifo? What is it? Plastic bags? How much is a Tifo?
It's usually cardboard, isn't
it? Hang on, we're eco-friendly. We won the eco trophy,
it's
right?
Plastic bags, though. The Tifo's always been plastic.
Hang on, it's plastic. Hang on, no, it's plastic. It's plastic bags.
Because they're turned into aeroplanes, aren't they? That's what we all do. We hold it up and we
throw them at Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
Right. My point here is that ages ago, right, 2 years ago, I said to some of the fan groups, all we need to do is go back to the old days whereby you ask the fans in the South Stand or wherever around the stadium to bring a blue and white scarf. And at the start of the thing, you just hold it up. Listen, honestly, right, I've been going on about it for such a long time. And, I go to Frankfurt and I see the entire stadium, not a bit of the stadium, holding up the scarves. I go to Liverpool, they're holding up the scarf. Even the scumbags at the Emirates are holding up their red and white scarves. If you saw the South Stand with a sea of blue and white scarves, forget your plastic Tifos and all that. This should be every game, right?
That's a fan thing. That's not a club thing. That's a fan thing, isn't it? That's the fans got to do that.
No, you're not listening what I'm saying. I never mentioned a club.
Never listen.
I never mentioned the club. I said that this should be run by the fan groups, or the club can help encourage fans to bring a blue and white scarf. It's the simplest thing, right? Back in the day, right, when you used to go to Spurs in the European nights, fans didn't need to be told. They just took the scarves, and before the kickoff, everyone was holding up their scarves. Or when we were singing one of our anthems.
Our anthem's got to change, by the way. But listen, like the trombone thing, as much as it's kind of quirky, it's a shit song.
The trumpet.
They don't put the drum in.
The trumpet.
The trumpet, yeah, not the trombone.
The trombone is the one that's... Maybe a trombone. Actually, a trombone is probably more apt.
Exactly. That's what they should do. That's what they do before the game starts. The trumpet's terrible. Let's be honest. The trumpeter.
I like the drum. Arsenal have got a fucking drum now.
You can't even hear the drum anymore. It's terrible. It's better when someone just bangs the there's one man.
There isn't a drum anymore. There was a drum for a while.
There's a drum for a while. He came back for a while, and you could barely hear him. The old drum in the South Stand, the old block. Was monster.
It's right at the top of our block. Right in the standing bit. You look round and it's like miles up there.
Listen, yeah, but I think that guy's got like a hi-hat. He hasn't got like a proper bass 3, like an 808.
Have you seen
hang on a minute, Sean. He's got a 5-year-old fucking toy drum, right? I'm talking about
the Fisher Price. He's got a Fisher Price drum with him. Yeah.
What they're worried about is he's got a cymbal. He's got a triangle. Right. I'm looking for a geezer with a fuck off drum to beat the beat, right? Like you see with the England games.
Yeah.
Right. But the club
And
were
noise
worried.
is all that.
They got rid of the drummer because the fans were singing the Y word. That was the reason why he was stopped. Okay, on the beat, right?
No, but hang on, the Y word was banned last season. I'm sure that the season
but the
before.
drum,
I'm sure last season the drummer came back, right? The drummer came back, but his drum wasn't the same size.
Well, that's how you. Well, that's how the club get around on a technicality. You asked for the drummer. We brought the drummer back. The fact that he's coming in with a toy drum is neither here or there.
He's got a fucking bongo. He's got a bongo. Boom, 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 boom. But it's just not the same. It's not the same. The old South Stand guy.
We need a drum section. Boom, boom.
That guy was class.
You go to the European games and you see a conductor, you see the guys at the front, even the AZ Alkmaar fans, right? They have two conductors at the front who are not even watching the game, controlling the fans, right? Beating the drum. I mean, I love the way they all brought in drums and musical instruments and all the thing, and not a problem. Yeah, if you try to bring a drum into the home section, there's no chance. You can't even get a flag in.
What about Vuvu's Wailers? Can we do that?
No, Sean, no.
I'd settle for anything that isn't the library. We have become what we
should get. We should. So just quickly, we should absolutely pay if he wins the trophy for one game at the start of next season when he's not here and we got the next guy. Did you fucking do?
Thunder on in the morning. Yeah, fuck that.
That would be hilarious. No, but the trumpet guy, no disrespect to him, but the song is just, it doesn't get us going, does it? It's like, you want something more
down the road singing North London. Them down the road singing North London forever. They've gone from a library, one of the worst atmospheres I've ever been in, to a really good atmosphere.
And it's a class song as well. It's a really good song. Yeah. It's a really
good song. Get around. Unfortunately, like the club, we had a better atmosphere and a better football club, and it's gone like this, where our atmosphere's fallen off of a cliff, our team's fallen off a cliff, and they've passed us by, along with Aston Villa, who've got a better song. Even Forest have got a better.
Hold up on that they passed. Villa haven't passed us by. Villa are in a moment in time. It's a moment in time. They're doing good things, but let's just see what happens there, shall we? Let's see what happens because it's a little bit too early.
Emery's doing a good job.
He is. But like, anyway, my point being, we need a new song because it ain't that. And like for a little while last season, they tried to for the first 10 games, they tried to roll out "Can't Live Without You," which is one of my favourite songs, but not 30 seconds before the game kicks off. It's just like it's a little bit soppy bollocks, isn't it, Barry?
Yeah, I think they haven't got the mix right. Like when they used to, and yes, they still do, but they don't. It doesn't have the same impact because you've got Star Wars, the Star Wars music, and then the video. Then you've got the trumpet. That you've got almost too much going on, right?
I agree.
Whereas when you just had the video and the Star Wars music and none of the wanky lights going off and flashing and
all the same,
and a Tifo and a this and a that and a trumpet. It's just less is more. And
just get the less right. Just get the less bit right.
No, look, forget this game. In a standard game, Barry and Sean, right? It's the same predictable. My son said, "Oh, what are they going to do? It's the same old shit, Dad. The bloody lights are going to come on now." Right? I mean, when you've got Donna Cullen and Daniel Levy choosing it all, would you let them choose the playlists to get your fans?
No. You know what it is, Johnny. You absolutely bang on the money. Daniel Levy is like Simon Cowell. And Simon Cowell, look, don't get me wrong, on Pop Stars back in 2001 or Pop Idol or whatever it was.
Pop Stars, the Idol.
I don't like you. I love you. And everyone, yeah. Like that was cool for like 5 minutes. But we're on season 29 of Britain's Got Talent, and it's the same rinse and repeat of the same. It's like it doesn't work anymore. Hasn't worked for a long time. So you know what, Simon Cowell / Daniel Levy, hand it over to some up and comer that knows how to invoke an energy. Give it like
anthem.
Stormzy. Let Stormzy come. He's an Arsenal fan, isn't he? But like,
no, but we need an anthem. We need something. We need a track that gets everybody singing. Right, that everyone can relate to, an anthem, right? There's so many anthems out there. I'm sure one can be adapted, or we can rewrite one. I mean, we got enough. Don't let H anywhere near it. Not H. What's his name? Formsy. Formsy, is it?
Forms.
Formsy. More like George Formsy.
Who's Formsy? What are we talking about here? Who's that?
Forms.
Sean's a bit old. Sean, mate, you got to get with it, mate.
Yeah,
Who's
come
Formsy?
on.
Who's Formsy?
No, it's Forms. It's Forms. He was on with Ben and Sim the other day.
Who's that? I've no idea. I know who Ben and Sim are. Who's that?
Get with it, Sean. Yeah, get with it.
What is he? Is he a musician?
He ain't singing way too big for your boots, but he's doing tracks, right? Spurs each week, No,
I've got no idea what you're talking about. What's going on here? Who is he? And what is he's a musician, is he? And he's
Forms like does a sort of a white boy rap, right, to what's gone on in the week and football. So like a Forest game or whether it be Eintracht Frankfurt, he would have done a track.
Okay.
Right, about what
he does it in Formula One as well. I've just put his link in the private chat. So.
Can I bring it up? Pause. Let's have a look.
Sure you can. I actually would like to back if that's allowed.
1 second, we're doing here. Can I listen to it without? Can I listen to it?
But
I haven't got an Instagram account, so I can't.
That's not Barry. That ain't going to get anyone going, is it? Yeah, there must be a track, a new track which everyone can start singing.
Yeah, I think so. But I do think something between, I don't know. You think something between Form, something between AJ Tracy, something that's Tottenham. Do you know what I mean? Something that they can come up with together that can make it
something about the area, something about our history, something about what is Tottenham.
Yeah, I mean, Grant. All due respect, we ain't gonna have Adele singing about a love life. That's just like glory. That's just like Can't Smile Without You. Hang
on a second.
I don't want to commit Harry Carey before the event. I mean, Adele sounds, makes you depressed.
I want to just quickly. I don't care if I get a copyright. Whatever. Let's see what he's got. Let's see what he's got.
Quite handle. And I tell you that story and take you on that journey in my EP 5 stages. First one being Denial goes something like this.
You hear that?
One more time, tell me again.
You're better going to doing his one about the Premier League. Go to one of his Premier League. Talks about the Premier League in the week.
He does the Spurs games. He does the Spurs games.
I don't care if he does about fucking the brasses in Bodo, mate. I'm not listening to that crap. I'm not interested. Sorry. No disrespect to him. I'm sure he's very talented, but I'm not.
Listen, I mean, you want something like the Red Hot Chilies or something, like an anthem, anything other than the same stuff. Come on, you Spurs. I mean, when the Spurs go marching, I'm not against it, but it's not inspirational.
Yeah, no, it's something. Yeah, you're right. An anthem would be cool. It'll be like if you could get Adele to create a masterpiece that was an absolute, because she's an anthem sort of person. She's a Tottenham fan, and she'd make a fucking fortune out of it, right? So you've got 27 million fans in the Tottenham.
As much as I hate it, North London Forever is a great song.
It's a cracking song. It is a cracking song, yeah. And Adele's one of the best anthem writers in the game. And there has to be a shake up of it, because I think you're spot on, mate, about what you're saying there, Johnny, about Donna Marie Cullen, and it's a tired profile, and they don't know what they're doing.
Tired. I love Chaz and Dave. I love Chaz and Dave, 20 years ago, but it's over.
Yeah. Even I just remember, Johnny, going to Wolves and even Leicester. Their song it gets them up for it. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. For us, it's and you think Leicester of all teams, and you go there and you think, oh, I feel a bit intimidated by that song. I feel a bit intimidated by the crowd singing it.
That was the first time when I went to that Leicester game at the start of in Conte season, and we lost. I think it was 3-2, with Conte was in charge. That was the first time I've been at a stadium as an away fan to see the entire home stadium singing the other song that we sing when we win the game. When he goes to that like or whatever the kind of club song that comes on when everyone dances like up and down. You know that one. That was the first time I've seen it, and I was like, that's powerful. But then Tottenham go and rip it off, as there's like 100 other clubs, right? Everyone's doing the same thing now. It's not that
even the things from like Wolves and at Leicester, and you see the eyes on this big screen from either the wolf or the fox. Even that is intimidating. We don't we got Chirpy running around waving, you know.
I mean, honestly, I was at the Frankfurt game and I thought I was at the Nuremberg rally at one stage, right? Honestly, it was intimidating. Right?
Even Jonny,
Good sir.
Yeah. I went to the San Siro to watch Milan against I don't know who Inter played someone 2 seasons ago, and even the guy on the mic going number, like they're shouting when the substitutions are coming on, not like and replacing number 7 Heung-min Son is number 3.
That geezer needs a bit of a live, doesn't he? He needs to come
do you know what I mean? And then you see the ball, and then you just see the crowd, and they're bouncing for 90 minutes. The whole stadium is bouncing for 90 minutes.
The Germans were singing a song. I don't know what it was because I'm not German, but they started the song. Now we're going to sing. So they all got up their scarves, and they were holding their scarves up, and they went around the stadium. And you could just see every single person in that stadium was singing this anthem, and it was it was intimidating, and it created an atmosphere. Didn't help them on the night, but
yeah, but that was Jonny. That was the same for the Ajax game, right? The Ajax game with the flags and the Tifo and everything else.
Don't worry about a thing. Don't worry about a thing.
That was that night. That for that time. That was something special, I mean, again, it didn't help us on the pitch because we lost 1-0, but we know what happens afterwards, right? But that was intimidating. The North London derby, the first one, that was intimidating. But it is just quiet, boring.
Can I be an advocate of change for Tottenham if I have my own unique perspective on it? That is just, when I say change for Tottenham, I mean change the drummer, change the trumpeter, change the tracks when we score a goal, change the entry music, and change the songs that we sing, because I think that is. I think you're right.
Bring your scarves.
It isn't good enough.
Bring your scarves. Listen, you could sit down if they entrusted one guy to go out there and look through the vast musical library to find an anthem for the club that isn't frigging Star Wars, that isn't the same thing. I mean, listen, I'm a big Emerson Royal fan. I mean, people used to think I was nuts. So it's good to be with you on this one. Yeah.
Let me ask this, boys. Jonny, have you done any research? Do we know, is the Bodo home fans, are they intimidating in their 7,500 seater stadium? Are they?
Well, they got the fisherman's friend end, right? And they sing, They think the salmon song probably, or
they sing My Little Mermaid or something.
Go a whaling. Whaling we go. Yeah. Sean's going brassing. I'm going whale. I'm going whaling.
Nice. Boys, let's get back to Tottenham. The actual tail of the tape. And by the way, Formsy, if you're listening, mate, I wasn't being disrespectful.
Forms.
I wasn't being. Good luck with you, mate. I hope you.
It's AJ Tracy, yeah.
Is he part of this? Is that the?
No, he's not white. He's a black guy who raps.
Oh, yeah, I've heard the name. I don't know who he is though. I'm so out of it, mate. I had my guitar out earlier and I was belting out with the window open. Even when the window was open, I was belting out "You Are My Destiny." Lionel Richie.
You are my destiny. Yeah.
You are my absolute banger. The 80s for me, the 70s, 80s, and 90s, absolute cracking. Anyway, Let's talk about the next story for us. So we're not sold on Brendan Johnson. How about this story regarding Manor Solomon? So Leeds United getting a massive cash injection
from the 49er group.
That's exactly right, mate. Well done, I won't even bother bringing it up.
Who have also taken over Glasgow Rangers.
Yeah. And that cash injection, in terms of the benefits to Tottenham, it looks like Manor Solomon wants to stay. The Leeds fans want him. They like him. They love him. They're obviously coming up. What's the right price for Manor Solomon? Or do you guys see any? I mean, do we have enough wingers? Do we have enough Manor Solomons in the squad?
Do you know what, Sean? For political reasons, this guy was never given a chance. He had a bad injury. And he's gone up there, and I believe he's got 9 goals and 11 assists in 30 games. I think something like that.
Is that his level, though, mate?
But you can only go in the level that you're at, right? Okay.
He's been a Premier League player. He played for Fulham.
Yeah, you know? He was injured for Fulham, but he went on that run, if you remember, where he couldn't stop scoring goals.
Well, 3 goals in 3 games, I think it was. So it's like...
I'm just saying, right? Shakhtar Donetsk. Right, I remember him playing against Real Madrid and playing as a false 9 and absolutely ripping them apart. Now, I actually think he's a really good player, but I just think that, again, another Fabio Paratici deal of getting him in for nothing on a free transfer. He's got to be worth 20 million.
I was having this conversation with you guys.
You had a conversation with me. Why should he be less? Why should he be less? 11 goals, 9 assists. Now, if we were buying him...
Oh, that's right. You were making the comparison to Ollie Skip, right?
Well, Oliver Skip went for 25 mil, didn't he?
Yeah, but Ollie Skip's obviously English and homegrown, so...
I know, I don't care, but he's also can't get into the team and doesn't score and doesn't have 20 goal assists. Now, I remember...
If that's the case, then we're paying 80 million, Johnny, surely.
Well, you know what we would be paying. The funny thing is, I remember going on about a certain player called Jared Bowen when he was at Hull City. And, but he's only done it in the Championship. And Spurs looked down their noses at him. And we all know where that is now. And I think there's a certain snobbery when you look down at the Championship. And let's be honest.
It's a snobbery, mate, because Tottenham obviously went and bought, like, Dele Alli. Like, at the end of the day, it's like...
Yeah, no, but I'm saying there is a snobbery.
You can point towards the players in the Championship that end up getting someone takes a chance on and they smash it. But there's also a long list of players that have gone that hasn't worked out as well.
No, I understand that. But if you took the Championship, it's probably one of the most competitive leagues in its own right in Europe. I think it's a better league than the French. It's more competitive than the French league, in my opinion. I think it's more competitive. I don't think that Glasgow Rangers and Celtic would walk straight into the Championship and win it.
It'd be interesting. I don't know, to be honest.
It would be competitive. It's very competitive.
It is. It's a great league. It's a great league.
Is it 46 games?
Yeah.
46 games.
46 games. Yeah.
46 games. Yeah. 20. Yeah. So what's the right price then? You're saying 20, 25 million, Johnny?
No, I wouldn't sell him for. What I'm saying to you is, we are buying players. Like, we're going to pay 50 million. I'm not saying that Matthias Tell and Manor Solomon are on the same level, but you're talking about pooing a player that's got 20 goals and assists in 30 games, and yet we're happy to go and spend £47 million on Brendan Johnson, and we're happy to go and spend £50 million on Tell, who scored 2 goals in 24 games, including the Bundesliga and the Cup games, right?
Well, I wouldn't buy Tell for 50, but if we could find
neither would I. So I would say, why wouldn't you bring back Manor Solomon pre-season and see where the land lies?
Yeah, no, I would as well, but at the same time, well, I wouldn't. No, sorry, actually, saying that again, I wouldn't. If I've seen enough of Manor Solomon. I think he's a clever player, but I don't. I don't want him.
Remember Burnley? Did you go to Burnley before he got injured in that game? because I was at that game where he absolutely ripped Burnley to shreds. Absolutely ripped him to shreds. I think he got two assists or 3 assists. I can't remember in the game.
We're lowering our bar, though. I was having this conversation.
We're not lowering our bar because we actually own him, right? I'm just saying to you, there is no loss. There is no losing in this scenario. I'm saying to you, we either sell him for 20 million and use that money to make up for the shortfall in finishing in 16th place and the 3 million a position that we've chucked down the drain, and we use that money to make up the deficit, or do we bring him back and see what he can do in a Spurs shirt now he's fully fit?
Yeah, but my question to you is, and I'll come to Nick, if Leeds say, I'll give you 15 million, take it or leave it, would you sell him at 15?
Yeah, look. It's difficult. Johnny's right in kind of what he's in both kind of things of what he's saying, right? I think Solomon, there is that arrogance around Spurs fans and players and everything else, right? Because if you compare it to, say, like a Milenkovic at Forest, which was 12 million, no Spurs fans are sitting there and saying that they want Milenkovic, right? Because well, there may be some. But most Spurs fans will say, I'm not having Milenkovic, 12 million. What the hell are we signing players like that for? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think Solomon he's almost one of those players where he's too good for the Championship or very good in the Championship, but not great in the Premier League.
How long has he got on his contract left? Do we know?
Well, we signed him on a free, and we would have signed him on a 5-year contract, wouldn't we?
How old is he?
25, is he? Let's have a look.
But I think the other thing as well is that if we're doing what we were doing, like Johnny said as well, 50 million or whatever for Tell, why would we spend that money when we have Solomon there? But also, it all depends on if we do win Europa and get in the Champions League, because if we've only got one game a week, we sign Tell, you're blocking Mikey Moore's. Are you not blocking Mikey Moore's path into the first team because you've got Odebear, Solomon, Tell, Son,
Yang?
You don't need Yang. You don't need 4 or 5 players on that left hand side for one game a week.
100%. That's
Yang's
why
near. Let's just say
12 million for Manor Solomon.
And you've got the same, and then you've got the same, and that then leads into the question around the defenders, right? Because you've got Danso, Dragoshin, Romero, Van der Ven, Davis, Vuskovic, Phillips. You don't need, Archie Gray. 9 players for 2 positions.
Well, let's play this game then. Right, let's do make believe sales values for the squad players that we don't want to do.
We do that as fans anyway, don't we? Play make believe.
Make believe all the time. Make believe I'm going to Bodo and watching the game. No, I'm staying in Bodo. I'm marrying a princess. I ain't coming home, boys. This is the last you're going to see me, especially if there's
married an Eskimo.
I'm taking Bugs with me. She's going to marry a husky. Manor Solomon. So we're going to. Okay, I'll tell you what. Well, how about we round it up for 15 million quid as a sales realization? Would you be okay with that, Johnny? If I said 15 million,
I'd take 15 million plus 25% sell on.
All right.
Johnny coming in with caveats now.
I love that. He's a negotiator. He wants to take up Daniel Levy's spot. Romero, are we all agreed that he wants out?
Yeah.
Yeah, if they pay the money. Otherwise, get back in line and start playing some football to generate the fee.
What do you think the fee is, Johnny? Do you think because a lot of people are saying 80 plus, and I don't think it's that high.
Well, I think it needs to be that high, because if we're going to replace him, look, let's be honest. Even if we
get in the chat, guys, Reece is doing it. Every time you mention a player, let us know what numbers we're talking about, and we can use your average.
But do we need it if we've got one game a week, Johnny? We don't need. I think Reece is pretty spot close to what I think if Romero goes. That's what we're getting.
And what do you think?
Million upwards.
That 60 million is Daniel going to spend reinvesting in another centre back?
If we only have one game a week, he won't need to, will he?
Listen, look, we all heard that Ange complaining last year he hasn't got enough games to play his players and it's not enough game time. And then he's got more game time and then he says there's too many games. The guy's a clown. But my point here is that I believe in a squad and competition. There's no such thing as backups anymore. This is a squad game, and no one should have a God-given right to their position. And if you get rid of Romero and there's only Kevin Danso that's going to be playing there as a centre-back, that is not a good position. There should be competition for places. And what I'm saying to you is that I'm fine selling Romero if you're going to invest it in a top-quality centre-back. And if that's Mark Gahey or that's Dean Huijsen, then fine. But if you're going to come up with some random player that we're going to buy for 15 million and tell me he's as good as Romero, we know he's not. We paid £45 million for Romero 3-4 years ago because he was Serie A Defender of the Year. And it was an amazing job by Fabio Paratici to convince him to come to Spurs. It's as simple as that.
The problem is he's only got 2 years left on his contract, right? So that that is a problem. If he had 3 years left, I think you can ask for 90 if he wants out, but if he or 80, but if he, he's a World Cup winner, very highly sought after. I don't think he's anywhere near as good as the market pretends he is, but
do you not think we've got Danso and Dragusin? Do you not think for 1 game a week that's enough? Plus you've got Gray. Do you not think that that's enough?
Not good enough.
Not good enough. I granted, but in Levy's eyes, that's enough, right?
Yeah, in my eyes, I'm a Spurs fan. I want to see progression.
100%.
Selling your best player is tantamount to exactly what happened previously when you sold Harry Kane and you bought Brenda Johnson. And we all know what we think about that.
I get it, but I don't think, going back to Sean's point, I don't think Romero's our best player. I don't think he's anywhere near. I don't think he's anywhere near our best player. You could argue if we were taking a vote now on Player of the Season, Bergvall will win that hands down.
Yeah, well,
the Player of the Season not the same as best player, but even
but Romero as a vice captain, Romero as a vice captain, part of that leadership team, has done the square root of F all season for Tottenham. He's either been injured or he's been putting in the performances that we've seen.
Let me tell you something.
And the week before,
no one has benefited in this system. No one. This system has made everyone look dog shit.
Yeah, Johnny, I agree. But
James Maddison,
these players, do you not think these players have a bit of pride and they can sit there and go, I'm going to show that I'm better than this?
No, they don't have any pride. The only time they have pride is what I said before the Frankfurt game. However shit they are, and having to watch them week in, week out, they will turn up at Frankfurt and they will deliver. And they will turn up at Bodo Glimt and they will deliver. And they will try to win their best performance to try and win that Europa League.
So they'll do it in spite of Ange, not because of him.
Because they have selfish, self-motivating reasons to perform. It's the chance for Spurs immortality, a chance to put themselves in a shop window, a chance to be playing Champions League, a chance to get a big move. It's everything.
It is
everything.
This next couple of weeks of Tottenham's life is the most. I'd argue it's more important.
20 years could be.
I would actually argue it's more important than the Champions League final because of where we're at as a football club.
Yeah.
What else is going on around us with the emergence of? I said this on the video I did earlier. The variables outside of our control, what other clubs are doing. There's a confluence of factors here that means like one of Tottenham or United or both are going to get left behind, in my opinion. Right? Like if Tottenham win the Europa League, we get into the Champions League. As Johnny and I said 1,000 times, that ability to create money from the off the field and the on the pitch and stuff, it just transforms you. Plus you've got the draw. Plus you can convince the players that want to leave to stay. Plus
I'm a financial behemoth.
Yeah, not just financially, but like in terms of the ability to convince certain players who might want out to stay and the people that might want to come. Plus the manager, like you can attract a different caliber with that money and with that appetite. And everyone will forget after a little while. Everyone will forget the season in the Premier League. But you fail to do it, then look at like Nottingham Forest are a team that has almost close to perfect transfer strategy in the last 24 months, but they have to work on a relative shoestring budget. Yeah. And now they're going to have Champions League money. So if they can continue their near to perfect transfer strategy with more money to spend and an ambitious owner and a manager that knows how to get the best out of the players that he has in Nuno, then you have a recipe there that's going to be quite scary. Aston Villa aren't going away. Newcastle United, they got, and the owners there are just about to start dialing that infrastructure spend up. You know they are, right? So then they're not going away. Chelsea are going to make more money from the Club World Cup than they would have done had they been in the Champions League. That's another threat and a factor. And they've got owners that are willing to put money in anyway and also dance around the rules. You've got Brighton and Brentford that are never going to be anything other than dangerous because of their transfer, because of their scouting network and what they can do. And they're just good teams. And so, like, getting in, not just getting to the final and winning it for the trophy drought, but getting to the final and winning it so you can maintain your participation in the conversation in a season where we have been embarrassed about how weak we have looked in a league campaign where everyone from 3rd to 13th, that gap has done that. And Tottenham are down here. And if we don't win that league, that trophy, we're going to get left behind. Maybe not financially. Maybe we can still weather the storm a little bit. But in terms of the draw, in terms of the players that want to leave, they've then got a reason to put their feet up and go, fuck that, I want out of this shit, so I'm done.
We make about £20 million. We make about £20 million winning the Europa League, right? Just qualifying for the knockout stages is huge money. I mean, Arsenal made nearly £100 million before they'd even got through, before they'd even gone through that section. Plus the uplift from 6 non-football events to 30 football events. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. This is a massive sliding doors moment for the club.
Huge.
I don't know what's happened to my camera, but I look like I've been on the in the Caribbean for about a month. I don't know what's happened.
Just quickly then, let's finish off the Romero because I've got another 12 names to bring out here that are potential departees. Are we all okay given the length of the contract? And look, Johnny, I know that you're saying I'm okay selling him depending on who we get in, but like forget about the who we're getting in thing. Just on a valuation basis, on a like appetite to leave, is 60 million quid okay with you guys for Romero to put down on the list here?
No, no, not for me. No, just because I know 60 million does not buy you any quality. It's as simple as that, right? If we were buying Christian Romero right now as a World Cup winner, we wouldn't be getting him for 60 million pounds. It's as simple as that.
I know that.
The big issue here, though, is forget about what I want and what I think is reasonable. The truth is, apart from the state-backed clubs, Europe's suffering financially right now. Attendances, money being spent, FFP, PSR, all the rest of it. It's very, very difficult to go and spend 80 to 100 million pounds and keep within the framework of the restrictions. And that's the fact, whether you like to hear it or not. That is the truth. And it's very difficult to spend that sort of money unless you've got a lot of headroom.
That 2-year left though thing is the reality though, Johnny, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I understand.
If you want 80 and Real Madrid and Atletico, because you're right, there's not going to be a long list of people that can afford him either at 60 or at 80, but
they want 70 or 80 for Mark Gailey.
Yeah, I know. But he's obviously English. He's English homegrown as well, though, right?
I don't care. It's 1 year left.
I don't think Guehi's worth 70 or 80 million quid.
But this is my point here, right? Dean Huijsen is going to go in a flash.
He'll go to Liverpool, won't he? He'll go to Liverpool
because he's only costing £50 million, which is a great deal. When you look at Solanke for 65 and Brennan Johnson for 47. Here you've got a 19-year-old
Richarlison,
two-footed, a 19-year-old two-footed centre-back who's fantastic on the ball and probably be Spain's centre-back.
Can we meet in the middle? Can we go 65 million? Just for the argument, just for the game.
Okay, 65.
Just 65. So we're at 80 million quid in our make-believe sales, smash sale. By the way, John, I was going to say, I've got Richie's my next name on the list here, but like, you know how I feel about him. But I was actually on this show yesterday, and I was sort of a little bit bullied into. I don't usually walk away from a debate thinking, maybe I've got to concede. But on the other three guys were all like, you think that Richie's awful, and he is. You think Solanke's brilliant, but he isn't. And actually, on every they were all saying, look, we don't want either of them really. None of them are good enough for our standard. But apparently, they didn't actually quantify this or qualify it by showing me the stats. But apart from the goals per minutes thing, which Henry beat me up on, apart from that, Sava was saying that he did like a deep dive into Richie versus Solanke, and that Richie wins on every meaningful metric.
Listen, I'm not going to sit here and say Richie's been a success story, because he hasn't. But there are levels. Solanke, since July the 4th, scored 1 penalty goal in 790 minutes. And Richie has scored 4 goals in 230 minutes. Okay.
Since July the 4th?
So since Jan 4th.
Why are you picking January the 4th, though?
I'm just saying, since January the 4th, okay, Solanke scored 1 goal, a penalty. Okay. I'm just saying, I'm just giving it right. Richie has been out injured.
He does score.
Richie should not have been playing 90 minutes against Forest, right? You don't go out, you're not out for months on end and suddenly you whack in and play 90 minutes. You're meant to be eased back into it. You could see after 70 minutes, he was absolutely gubbed. So how quiet he got hold of that header. And let me tell you, as shit as we played and as badly as he did in the first half, not getting into it, that header was absolutely superb that he put in. It was an absolute bullet header.
Yeah, I just think that the team is set up that when Richie's on the pitch, we look for Richie because we know that he can't do too much else. Whereas when Solanke's on the pitch...
He presses. What, you think... Hang on a minute. Are you saying that Richie don't press? Seriously?
I'm not saying he can't press. I'm saying that the connecting of the dots with the ball. Solanke can come deep and can thread. And he's more of a sacrificial lamb, right? Whereas... Which is what the system.
Is that what you want?
No, it's not. It's not. But that's what the system was built around. It's the system. That's Angie's system, which we don't like. I get it. But
why would you sign a striker for £65 million to play him in a system that doesn't suit him? It exploits him. It doesn't suit him. When I look at Emery at Aston Villa, when he arrived at Aston Villa, he looked at Ollie Watkins, and Ollie Watkins was doing very much the same. Dropping deep, pressing here, pressing there. And Emery said to him, look, I don't want you doing that. I want you to be using your energy to press the back four, right? Break the lines, work the centre-backs. Lo and behold, straight away he has his best season in a long time, right, in the Premier League. And it's no coincidence that Iriola got the best out of him because he played to his strength. This guy said, this is the guy I want. Solanke's the guy I want. And he brought him in and he doesn't play to his strengths. Listen, I'm not saying under another manager who's got some tactical nous says, well, hang on a minute. If we're going to play Solanke and this is all we've got, we have to play to his strengths.
I hear that. I'm saying, but to me, we've signed Solanke because we needed a player that can play in the 9, that can get on the end of things, but also can play the sacrificial lamb, can do the press, can connect things, connect the dots, try to somehow replace Harry Kane. All of these things that Richarlison can't. Richarlison is brilliant in the air most of the time, but for me, I think the team, my point is that when he's on the pitch, we play to his strength, whereas when Solanke's on the pitch, we play to the team's strength and let him be the sacrificial lamb. And so I don't think it's a fair comparison to sit there.
Right. When he was fit in that short burst last season, he was the top goal scorer in the Premier League in that 3-month period, right? When he was fit.
You're missing the point, man. I'm saying that it's not a fair comparison because Solanke isn't allowed to spread his wings and do what he does. Solanke's asked to do things that Richie isn't, is what I'm saying. And so I don't think it's a fair comparison. I don't particularly like. I mean, look, yes, they were convincing in their argument, as are you, that the stats don't lie. But at the same time, there's always context. And Barry, what's your take, mate? Like Solanke, Richarlison, like, are you okay with both? Okay with none? What do you want? What do you want to see happen with our forward line this
Sign Goy for us should have happened.
Well, I think what we've seen is that, and what we've seen from Richie again. I don't think Richie's the answer. But he's getting in positions that Solanke isn't. You know, he's getting into position. You know, you saw the goal that he scored the other day, and obviously then there was the one that was saved. he's getting in the positions that you think Solanke should be in. The stats, if you're looking at the stats, they back Richie over Solanke. I don't think either of them are great compared to what we've paid for them. 120 plus million for both is crazy. When you add on a 47 million for Brennan Johnson and then potentially another 50 million for Tell, you're talking over 200 million for those 4 bozos. Really?
A lot of money. We spent a fucking fortune on our forward line, and it's really not that good, is it?
No, it's not. And look, we're not sitting there and saying, we're not sitting there and saying, oh, we could have got this, or you look at it and you go, oh, Chris Wood, or some, we're not sitting there and saying we should have got someone like that. But we've spent a hell of a lot of money either on players that don't fit the system or we don't play to their strengths.
Do you know what? I'm actually happy. Like I've always said, this notion that Daniel Levy's this master negotiator, master.
You die on that hill, Shawnee.
I die on the hill that he isn't. I say he isn't.
He isn't.
No, I say he isn't. I think he's terrible. I think it's this zero-sum game of negotiation. It works if you're a car salesman and it's a one transaction, one and done. But if you've got relatively few suppliers or vendors in which you can go back to, you have to keep those relationships sweet, and he doesn't do it that way. He's a donut in that.
How much? Someone's just put in the chat. How much do you think it would have cost Tony to come in the summer?
25 million and a lot of money in wages. But he went to, where did he go? Saudi.
Yeah. But if the pull was to be that guy, to be that main striker, and to be that, and it was only going to cost us 30 million.
Yeah, I wanted Ivan Toney, but is he? I guess the question mark with Ivan Toney is is he a team player? Is he too selfish? Which isn't necessarily a bad thing as a striker. You want your strikers to be a little bit kind of like Harry Kane was incredibly selfish, wasn't he? But he didn't matter because he banged in.
Yeah, but he didn't have the everything around him. Harry Kane had everything that the perfect, the family man, the great marketing value, everything else. Not some guy that's got we know what happened with Ivan Toney, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He's broken his Levy though has broken his rule. He's showing a guy who's going to be 28 in the summer with no return on investment for 65 million when there's strikers like Sesko, Gyökeres. Yes, they would have been 5-10 million pound more, but who cares? That's the difference.
Would they have come to Tottenham?
But this is the club. This is the difference with the club. Aiming with ambition to go for the top rather than listen. I don't know anyone who didn't, in the back of their mind, have a few doubts about Solanke before he signed, because he didn't do it at Chelsea, didn't do it at Liverpool. He was okay at Bournemouth until Iriola came along. And, we heard Harry Kane, what they used to say, one season wonder. Okay, that's what they used to say. And then he proved himself. But he's looking like a one season wonder, Solanke. I'm not saying he's not going to score goals, but to me, he's not setting the world alight. I'm not saying he doesn't work hard. No one would question his work ethic.
If you could get 40 million for one of the two players that we're talking about, who do you get your 40 million back on? Who do you sell right now?
Well, I don't think
it's not even a fucking sit back and think answer. Both of you have just gone, if you can get 40 million for Richie, you bite your fucking hand off. You bite the hand off.
Hang on a second. You're making out that Solanke's like the Messiah here.
I'm not making out anything. He's not even. Is it honestly a debate?
He scored 7 goals. And
Richarlison's never fit, mate. He's never fit.
That's not within question. What I'm about to say was, unless he remains fit between now and the end of the season, you're not going to sell Richie, because no one's going to buy him if he ain't fit, was my answer, okay?
Fair enough. Right? But if you can get 40 million for either or...
And then what are you going to do? Sure.
You go and get Jonathan David.
Yeah, but I would take Jonathan David. Jonathan David, who you didn't even like a year ago, remember?
Yeah.
You didn't rate him.
Oh, guys, it's a competition. It's a competition, is it?
No, I'm just saying.
Johnny doesn't ever forget, Sean, yeah?
I know.
Jonathan David, I would take look, I said right from the off, Barry, that if we're going to keep Richie, we don't want another Richie. And what I mean by that is we need a mobile electric striker, like what you saw with Etikeke against Frankfurt, what you see with someone like
I'd take him.
Like you see with Sesko. I want an electric attacker that when he's playing on the shoulder of the defenders, they shit themselves. They don't shit themselves because Solanke hasn't got the pace to rip players apart. Now, Jonathan David, left foot, right foot, and scores for fun. Take him all day long. So, yeah, I would sell Richie at the drop of a hat if I could get Jonathan David on a free.
Or Liam Delap.
Now, Liam Delap I really like. But again, I think he's a lot more in the mould of a Solanke, but better and younger.
He's so mobile for a big lad. He looks like a cruiserweight.
I want an agile. I'd like to have dovetail between that bustling Delap striker, who I really like, and someone mobile. So, like, you have the physicality of a Heskey type, right?
Yeah.
And then you have him knocking down the ball for an electric striker to run onto. That's how football used to be played.
The old 4-4-2 days, wasn't it? Go on, sorry, Barry. Sorry, mate. Go on.
Yeah, no, Heskey and Owen. It was a perfect example, you know. Even when Crouch was doing it, you know, it was Crouch was there as the big
knocking him down, right?
You know, just nodding it down, you know, and you don't see that anymore. But yeah, look, I think Richie for me, I think I'm just worried we'll go and end up doing something stupid like giving him back to to Everton, and then we're getting Dominic Calvert-Lewin or something stupid like that, right? That's what we'll do, because that's the type of.
Imagine that. Imagine if the links re-emerge for DCL in the summer. I'll throw my fucking laptop out the window.
Listen, you'll see him in a nice dress at the stadium. That should set the Suns wagging. Honestly, I mean, why would you sign someone who's more injured than Richie?
All right, so Richie, what's realistic?
30 for Richie, and that's at a push.
Yeah, 30. You take 30, Johnny? I mean, he's already amortized down to that valuation, so like you've had 3 years out of him.
Yeah, 30, 35, yeah.
Oh, we'll put in 30 then. Put in 30.
£5 million more than Oliver Skip. Come on, go on, carry on.
Yeah. You can't be. Yeah, imagine he goes. What is? I know I'm not going to do a Portuguese accent, but like, what the fuck is this? I don't mind leaving, but I ain't leaving for a lower asking price for that bozo Ollie Skip. No, it's not happening. It's not happening. He's Bissouma. Are we all agreed that he's sellable and also should be sold?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, keep him off the balloons between now and the end of the summer. And 20 million. Thank you very much. Good night.
Yeah, I think we've seen, you know, even how much this manager, you know, isn't great. You know, Bissouma has failed. We haven't got the Brighton Bissouma that we thought we were getting for 25 million, right? So
he's only got 1 year left. Maybe we should run that down to 15. I'm still gonna do the old inevitable. When I tally all these up, I'm then gonna knock off 10% because that's what you have to do to get back into the realms of reality.
Hang on, you have to add, Sean. You have to add 20% for the unrealistic pricing that Daniel Levy will put on.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Yeah, I've got it all. We've got the recipe.
Take off 10, add on 20. Couple of skywalks.
Yeah. Realistic valuation times contract value minus 10% because we're fans and we're bozos, plus 20% because Daniel Levy doesn't know how to negotiate equals budget. Yeah. Rodrigo Bentancur, keep, sell,
keep.
Really?
Yeah.
Barry?
I'm not overly sold on Bentancur, if I'm honest. I think he gives the ball away a lot, and I think other people get him out of a hole a lot of times. But I don't think that he's not the biggest priority. Let's just say.
I'd sell Bentancur.
Mm-hmm.
I don't often agree with Rich. I don't think he often agrees with me, but we're both on that. We're both on the same wavelength. There you go, mate. Wavelength. Friday night wavelengths.
For me,
Sell for 25 million, says Peter. We're doing here. Maybe do buy one, get one.
we call him for 17.
Yeah, should be able to turn a profit on that one. Could be.
Well, if the rumours are true, then him and Romero off to Atletico, no?
If you'd have watched him play for Uruguay versus Brazil, and had you watched him and how good he was in that away leg against Frankfurt, I think you're missing it, really, personally. I don't think this system suits anybody, and I wouldn't be selling him. That's just my opinion.
What you're missing with Rodrigo Bentancur, mate, is what he does when we have the ball and the ball is not near him. So when Matisse Tell or Sonny has got the ball and they're about to take a man on, or Johnson or whatever, when we then lose that ball in transition and they break as fast as they do and they pop it over the top of Pedro Porro, the gap between Bentancur and the 10 is 10 meters. He's nowhere near good enough. I said this on the video this morning. I said I don't even necessarily blame him, because I think that there's like DNA. There's like an inbuilt DNA trigger that natural sixes have, where they know what they're doing when they're not supposed to be doing the things that eights do. We don't want an 8 pretending to be a 6. We need a 6 acting as a 6.
System. And let me tell you something, right? Hay has short memory that before the last World Cup, the best player at this club, voted by everybody, was Bentancur, right? He went to that World Cup and he was absolutely outstanding. Okay, picked up an injury in the last game, and Uruguay shadowed themselves without him, and he was rushed back. And we all know what happened in that Leicester game and the serious injury. And even he didn't think he'd get back to his level. I would say the problem is he might have lost a little bit of his pace, but there is a player in there.
I think it's attention, mate. I think he's good enough. He's a good player, a great player when he wants to be, but he lapses concentration, and you need a 6. This is why I was waxing lyrical about Johnny Cardoso today. I've been keeping an eye on him, running him through the Y Scout tool. Johnny Cardoso can't do what 8s do. He doesn't need to. He needs to do what 8s can't do. And
Johnny he's up and down again, isn't he, Shawnee? You've seen him. He's not consistent, Johnny Cardoso. He's not
the finished article, mate. But the one thing that I think he can do, which none of our players, well, first of all, he's an absolute enforcer. He just smashes people, and he's brilliant at it. He reminds me of Manuel Ugarte. He's the American Ugarte. I think he's really clever. And
that didn't work out well, did it?
Well, not in the Premier League yet, but I think Ugarte's still got. I'd give him another season if I was a United guy. But for me, the one thing that I think that people maybe are or are not aware of with Joey Cardoso, is his ability to switch the play. And if you are a team that has the ability to attack down both sides, like Tottenham could do with Wilson Odebear and Matisse Tell or Sonny or Mikey Moore, whoever, and you've got that ability to you spread the ball to one of those guys, then the defense have to make a decision, right? Like the left back, if it's down the right, has to decide, can I handle this by myself? If the answer is no, then you're going to have to get support from the centre back, who's going to have to drift away. And then you get the space in the middle for people like Decky and people like Maddison to attack and work with. I'm talking to nobody. I'm talking to the chat. But if they can handle it by themselves, or if they think they can, then you've got Matisse Tell, or Odebear, or Sonny, or Mikey Moore, whatever, that can take the player on and yield dividends from it. To me, the ability to switch from a 6 is so valuable if you have the right ingredients to attack down the right and the left. And Johnny Cardoso is brilliant at the switch. He's also just a natural enforcer. Is he going to run with the ball? Probably not. When he does, he's okay, but he's not sensational. Can he pass the ball, thread the pass like a Romero can, or like other people can? Probably not. He's not great at everything, but he's
not
good
at Mendy, is he?
No, but he's good at what we don't have. And I think that he's someone that's realistic. And by the way, the list of teams that are lining up to sign him, if we decide to turn down our option, I think goes a long way to validate what sort of player he is and how
No,
much.
we won't turn down our option. We will buy our option, and then we will resell it.
What, immediately?
Yeah, that's probably what will happen.
I think he's interesting. Him and Archie Gray battling out for the 6. Sorry, yeah, Archie Gray, and then you got Lucas Bergvall in that 8. That's just you know what we all thought about Lucas Bergvall. I think that's a refreshed sort of dynamic midfield, and then I think you can just go and like splinter in there, thread in there a little bit of leadership, a little bit of quality.
I prefer João Gomez personally, Prem proven.
Yeah, well, take João Gomez. Or João Gomez is going to cost you 50 million quid, whereas Cardoso is going to cost you 25. So maybe if you get to the Champions League, maybe you have the budget to be able to go after the next tier. If you don't, and you've only got like 60, 70, 80 million quid to spend, whatever it is, maybe
the problem I have with Jonny Cardoso, just as he's had a good game, I tune in for the next game and he has a poor game. And that, that's... But listen, how long have we gone on about Monster 6? This manager's got to go. I can't judge anyone, and that includes Solanke. I can't condemn any player in this system, right? I don't see any improvement in any of them other than Bergvall, and that's natural progression. When I look at Iriola and I look at the progression, how he's progressed players in his squad, I can clearly see it, and this manager has sent our players backwards. Who else you got on your list?
Yeah, just quickly before we get that, Sean, we get 25% of Cardoso sales. So sell Biss. Don't take the option on Cardoso. Take the 20. Is that the deal? Is it? We can either get him for 25 million, or if we let him go somewhere else, we get 25% of the sale. Is that the deal?
Yeah, this is the deal for Brian Gill, because Brian Gill's just had a knee op, so I don't know how long he's out. That's interesting. So if he was to go for 35 million, 40 million, you get 10 million. I don't know. I'd rather buy him. I think I'd rather buy him, but we'll see. It depends. Like if we win the Europa League, which we are going to do, because me and Barry are tearing it up with Johnny H in Bilbao. Are you going to Bilbao, Barry? I know you got 15 hotels, but are you? You got Booking.com has got a competitor, and Barry.com.
Look, you're not going to get a commitment from me. I'm no Henry Wright, mate. Where I'm saying that's it. I'm doing it for whatever I'm doing.
Why do you put the hotel rooms if you don't want to go?
Well, then I'm sure there's someone that's going to need some hotel rooms. No.
Oh, do you have like the ability to transfer the name of the hotel into someone else's name?
Yes.
See, this is what you do, isn't it? This. I bet you've also got refundable as well. So if you don't get there, you can get. Yeah. See, I didn't get the option. They take those options away when things start getting rare and
see, I've got 2 options. So what I'm thinking is, I have one option that. Well, actually, I've got 2 options, but I've also got a third option of someone's villa. So I could potentially fund my flight from the 2 hotel options. So, Henry, if you're watching, mate, next time, look at where things are, book hotel rooms, and then if you need to sell them on to cover your flight tickets, you don't have to do any shameless videos.
You're making money out of Tottenham getting to the final. You're worse than Daniel Levy, mate. You are worse than Daniel Levy.
No, Sean, I'm not making money out of it. I'm funding my travel to the
you're
final.
the Tifo. I'm going to call you Tifo Royale from now on. You're outrageous, mate. You're outrageous. All right, so what are we saying for Bentancur? Are we saying keep him or are we saying sell him? And if so, for how much?
Well, I'm keeping him.
You're keeping him as well, Barry, are you?
Yeah, for the moment, yeah.
All right, I'm crossing him off. Pape Sarr.
Keep.
Fuck.
He's young, for God's sake.
Radu Dragusin.
Depends on the man. Listen, I saw Radu play in the World Cup, and he had a fantastic World Cup. And the guy was playing in the centre of a back 3, which wasn't a high line. So quite why we signed a player to play a high line in a 4 is beyond me. So let's judge him in a system that suits him. So
you're saying keep. So keep. He's not going to go, is he? Let's be honest. He's not going to go.
No, he's not going to go.
All right, Ben Davies.
He's the legend. Well, listen, he runs our book club, and that's a very important part of Tottenham Hotspur. So, without him, the players wouldn't be getting an education. So I think we need to keep him.
That's a lot of centre-backs, though, we've still got on the squad then. So a lot of centre backs. You have Ben Davies, Radu Dragusin, Romero or his replacement, Danzo, Vuskovic, Van der Ven. That's a fuck ton of
Phillips.
Phillips. Yeah. Are
Happy
we keeping all of these players, are we?
Alfie Dorrington, who's going to be in the Scottish Cup final for Aberdeen.
Are we keeping them all?
Yeah, we're keeping them all. We've got a farm. I told you we got more wingers than Nando's. We might as well have. You might as well have
more defence. More defence than
we got more defence than Ukraine. We got more defenders than Ukraine.
That's why I said if we sell Romero, I don't think we need to. And we've only got one game a week, we won't need to replace him.
Yeah, the problem is the quality. I hear what you're saying.
I know. Johnny. Again, it's the Solanke Richarlison argument. Again, the quality is not what we need. But when you just reel it off like that, if we only have one game a week, we can sell Romero, and we don't need to replace him because we've got all of these players there.
All right,
and that's my worry. That's
okay. We're keeping all the defenders. We've got too many defenders now. Vicario, he's staying, isn't he?
Yeah.
We've made our bed with our goalkeepers. We're not getting rid of him anytime soon.
Yeah.
I make the argument that you could sell him. I'm I don't necessarily I'm not married to him, but I just don't think we're going to. I think we're going to make we've got 5 goals.
Is he not like a Gomez 2.0? He can make worldy saves from out of nowhere, but the simple stuff he just does makes himself look like a bozo. I mean, do we give Kinski the chance? We've got how many other goalkeepers we got? We got Austin, we got Keeley, we've got Whiteman.
Sorry, I remember when we watched that first game with Kinski, and we were all like, "This guy apparently he's lovely with his ball at his feet." And that first outside of the boot kind of golf fade that he did up towards Sonny or whatever it was, I was like, "Fucking big Tony Kinski, what are we doing here?" And everyone around me in the stadium was like, "We were going, Jesus, go on, Tone!" And it was brilliant, right? We loved it. And ever since then, absolutely terrible. Both
Arsenal, where he dived over the ball.
Oh yeah, Arsenal, exactly. It was the Liverpool game. He was fantastic.
Yeah, the Liverpool game when he came in 2 days before,
smashed it, absolutely.
And we thought we've got the next
21-year-old now. So
David De Gea.
Yeah.
Hang on, we can't get rid of Whiteman. He's the club DJ.
Well,
you've got to put these. Come on, Sean. You've got to understand. There's a. These are crucial.
Micro responsibilities are important. You take that's the thread. That's the thread you're talking about, Barry. You pull away the DJ. That's the thread. It's all going to fall apart.
Can
you get any money for Whiteman though?
Well, you can't. Right? He's out of contract at the end of the season. He'll probably be kept on so he can play that music, play that funky music, white boy. Right? And then you've got Davis for the book club, and you've probably got. Does anyone run the chess club? We might have to keep him.
What does the tree do? What does the tree do?
The tree's a stand-up comedian, mate. He's the funniest guy at the stadium.
And he's going for he's a free transfer as well, isn't he? He's a tree transfer.
He's a tree transfer. Transfer, to be sure. So hang on, how many we've got? So
at the moment, we're not selling Benton Corsar, Dragusin, Davies, Vicario.
Hang on, how many keepers we got? We've got Iro, we've got Whiteman,
Austin,
Dinoff. Yeah, we've got Austin, Gunter, Keeley, Kinski,
and Keeley,
and Vicario.
Who's Iro?
He's the young goalkeeper. It's too young for you, Sean.
Yeah. That's what they all say, mate. That's what they all say. That's what the brasses say as well. Too young for you, mate. No, you're not. Anyway, so Brian Hill, do we get any money for him, or was that part of that deal? All
no, after the Johnny Cardoso, and he's got a busted knee now, so
no money for him. So 0 for him. Okay. Sonny, keep, buy, sell. What are we doing? No, not buy. Keep, sell.
Sell him. But the problem is you're going to lose 45,000 Koreans a year. God knows how many shirts. Massive drop off on sponsorship. So I think we keep Sonny and we put him on meet and greet at the stadium.
Should we get on board the Korean theme? And we were talking earlier about club songs. Should we go and get like a BTS number or one of ththese Korean outfits and see if there's any bangers out there in Korea that we can invoke?
K-pop to do us a song.
Get a K-pop song that would get the stadium rocking, you know, and get some TikTok artists doing some dances or whatever outside, you know. I don't know. At the moment, we are in trouble. We got £15 million for Manor Solomon. We got 65 million for Romero. That's 80. We got 30 at a push for Richie. It's 110, and then 15 for Bissouma. That's 125. Is there any other people we can sell this summer to raise some money?
Brennan Johnson, Maddison.
Oh, Maddison. That's an interesting one. Sell?
I would sell, personally. Yeah, for me, I'd sell.
Barry's dropped off. He said, thanks for having me.
All right.
Basil. Appreciate you, mate. You sell Madders. What are we saying in the chat? Are we saying sell Maddison?
It's too inconsistent. Listen, if we do keep him, we need to invest in another creative midfielder. I personally would bring back Jamie Donnelly and have him as backup if we're going to keep him. Have you seen Jamie play as a creative 10? He's definitely capable.
You're not selling Donnelly. Yeah, no, he's staying. Maddison, I think Maddison will want to stay if the manager goes.
Correct.
All right, so we'll keep that one off then. Donnelly, Hill's done, Whiteman. All right, so basically, it's the 4 players. Oh, what about Valiz?
Alejo.
You'd sell him. I'd sell him for £5 million, would you?
Yeah.
Get your money back, send him back to
he can't even get a game out of Spain at the moment. You know, it's probably been our worst investment, probably.
Sean Boozer. Yep, correct. Who's that? Do I know that person? No, I don't know that person. Sean Boozer, get off. He said something else a minute ago as well. He said, get off. Where's it gone? Get off Viva Street. I shan't. I like Viva Street. It's fun. So Valiz, you sell for like, should we say 10 million? 8 million?
You'd be lucky to get 5.
5. All right, so we've got 130 million quid's worth of sales. Then there's no one else, is there? We're going to be looking to sell probably. No one else. Unless you've got some of the young players,
well,
maybe.
You're forgetting the fact that if we don't win the Europa League, players like Kulusevski could want to leave.
Jason from Married at First Sight. What?
Jason. I know who he's talking about.
Who is he? Who's Jason from Married at First Sight?
No.
Huh?
He's a knob.
Okay. I don't. It's him. All right. Is that actually you? Is it Jason? Is that actually you? JFK. No, he's not. Okay. Oh no, he's saying he is him. He's saying I'm not a knob. Anyway, whatever. Welcome to the show, Jason. If that is you, I've got no idea about Married at First. I like Married at First Sight Australia. I don't watch Married at First Sight UK. Hang on. Drew Zilla's saying, how many though? Because 130 million is getting you 3 players of half decent quality. You lot are going to have us playing with 8. No, because you got that. That's 130 million. Then we knock it down by 10%. So that's 30 million. Also, we're down to 107 million, 117 million.
Levy tax.
Then you add the Levy tax, which puts it back up to 143. So we're asking for 143, and we'll probably get 100. And then you put it together with whatever else you've got, which is say let's just make argument's sake, say 50 million quid in a world where you don't have Champions League football. Is there any players that would force a move, mate, that we wouldn't want to sell, but like would Decky force?
What I'm saying. This is what. Listen, Decky keeps coming out. That's why I'd make him captain. Decky keeps coming out and saying that he believes we've been stupid. We got it all wrong. We didn't prepare properly. We didn't organise ourselves properly. That doesn't sound like a guy who believes in the business, does it? To be honest, that's going on at the club. I don't know what's going on with my camera. I look like a like ghosting, like my head's not real.
Call you Casper.
Yeah.
It sounds like we've got 4 players leaving the club. Drew, we've got Manor Solomon, Romero, Richie, and Bissouma, and 5 and Valiz if we can.
Inward investment is the key to everything right now.
Oh,
If
Reguilon, has Reguilon got any time left?
No, he's gone free.
He's gone. Okay,
He's free. And wasn't it worth the 170 grand a week that our dear leader spent? Not once. Once was almost unforgivable, but to sign him twice. And he's lurking around somewhere. They're keeping him under wraps. But we signed him for 2 full seasons. He's not even gone back.
Do you think he plays ever again for Tottenham?
Never. I mean, he's sat at home probably playing with his dog.
Buskamps. You'll give me balls like to score in the stadium. It's fantastic. Yeah, it gives me Buskamps.
Steinhund, my dog.
Do you? So, if we can get, let's say, 80 million for some sales, just to round it down. Let's make it. Let's get to realistic. 80 million quid. Then you've got plenty of room on the wage bill. You've got maybe 50, 60 million. It's 150 million quid, and you've sold 5 players. You've still got too many defenders. But you need to spend a lot of money on a Romero replacement. You still need a left. Let's even say that like 65 million you get for Romero disappears out the door. Then all that leaves you with is 15 from Manor Solomon, 25, 30 from Richie, 15 from Bissouma. That's about 50 million quid plus. Whatever you've got, 50. So 100 million. Would £100 million budget work for you, if not including a Romero replacement, to get yourself a DM, a left-sided defender that can hopefully dual hybrid, and a striker? It's not really enough, is it?
No, because you haven't even factored in playing for Matthias Tell. That's going to eat up 3/4 of the budget. A quarter.
I cannot believe we would pay 50 million quid for him. We could go back and negotiate.
20 million plus add-ons.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, look, I'm not saying
I like him, mate. I got a good feeling about him. I know he's out there.
I have a good feeling, but if he was a 19-year-old academy player and he was just doing step overs and nothing much else, you wouldn't be saying that. He's played 24 games. And he's got 2 goals and a penalty.
He's played 24 games for Tottenham?
No, he's played for Bayern Munich. He's played at Bayern Munich in the cup. He's played in the some other cup. And he's been coming on against shit teams and still not scoring.
Yeah.
I hope he goes on to become special and we do buy him, and I'm wrong.
I think he's I understand the point about blocking.
Not what we need right now.
Would you sell any of the young players? You wouldn't sell Dorrington. You wouldn't sell Phillips. You wouldn't sell.
I'd sell Divine.
Yeah.
We've
got too many centre backs, mate. We've got too many centre backs.
Might sell Ashley Phillips. I mean, I like Ashley Phillips, but he's still only 20 years of age. People forget. He's played like a whole season for Stoke. He was on the end of a 6-0 drubbing the other day.
There you go. Yeah.
I'll tell you who I do like. I'll tell you, George Abbott at Notts County. He's doing.
Yeah, I liked him when he played under Conte. I liked him when I saw glimpses of him.
Don't be confused with Russ Abbott. It's not the same.
Yeah. Nice.
George Abbott's done very well at Notts County. He's going to be young.
And Buscovic as well.
Buscovic.
What about him? We've got too many centre backs, mate. We've got to start moving some of these fuckers on. We've got to start moving some of these on. Whether that's Ben Davies, sorry, your book club shut down, mate. We'll turn it virtual. Go back to Swansea. Do whatever you want to do. Right, he's got to go, or he can stay. But then you can't have Vuskovic, Phillips, Dorrington. You can't have all these players. There's no space for all of them. Pick one and sell the other 2, or pick 2 and sell one of them. One of them has to go. Or drag us in, because he hasn't really pulled up any trees. And his agent's an absolute donut. Like someone has to go from our centre back role. It's crazy. far too many centre backs that are not pulling up any trees here.
They're young, Sean. They're very young. I think you're forgetting it.
No, but they're not doing enough on loan that makes me think that they're ready. This is what I said to you the other day. Or last couple of weeks back.
Dorrington's only just gone to. Dorrington's come back from a really bad injury, right? He was standout player for the academy. He's gone on his first loan to Aberdeen. He's playing 90 minutes of football, and he's going to a cup final. George Abbott has gone out to Notts County. He's excelled. Okay. What's playing? Phillips is playing just about every week as a 19-year-old centre-back, playing in the Championship week in, week out. Vuskovic, whilst not blessed with great speed, is playing every week in Belgium, scoring goals. And
but you can only, there's a reason to be optimistic about all of them, but you only got room for 2 of them on the pitch at one time, right? And we've already got Van der Ven, Romero. I know that one wants out, the other one's injured all the time.
Well, there you go.
Of the others, mate, and especially if you're going to go and buy a new one because Romero's
on loan, Sean, you nurture them. Yeah,
they've been on loan. They've been on loan.
So they'll go out on loan again.
To who? A Premier League club?
I would think that Phillips at 19 years of age will go out to a Championship club again. Maybe stay at Stoke. Who knows? Vuskovic, I think, will come pre-season and likely. I'd be surprised if he didn't go on loan to a Championship club. Who else have you got? I mean, Dorrington. Who knows what will happen with Dorrington?
I'm just saying, mate. We have got 2. There's too many, and like
June Byfield is going to be the player, right? He's very young at the moment, but he's the best centre back I've seen come out of the club in a long time.
And what about Bartlett Williams? Right, like I know he's not ready. But like he's another like this whole youth system. We have to be prepared to let some of them have a crack, and we aren't. We clearly aren't. And I don't like. How much can you learn about whether a player's ready? Like Jamie Donnelly's clearly too good for League One, but you don't know if he's too good, if he's good enough for the Premier League. So you probably go and send him to the Championship next year, right?
Under Poch, he'd be getting minutes, I reckon.
Yeah. Well, then maybe you don't need Matisse Tell. Like maybe you just you can't.
If you've only got £100 million or £80 million, would you, even if you renegotiated and got it down for 30, would you spend a third of your budget on that? Would you?
Will I spend the third? No, I wouldn't, mate. I wouldn't. But like, I'm just like, I like Matisse Tell. Is Matisse Tell more ready than Mikey Moore? 100%, in my opinion. You know, you still there? You're on mute.
I don't dislike him, but I'm just not sure. I don't know what's going on with my camera.
Yeah, I've just given the game away. I'm on the Voddies, boys. I'm on the Voddies.
Oh no.
Yeah. I only had one though. This is
one bottle or one glass.
No, this is it. This is the one drink. So actually, no, I've had. That's why this is a second. That vodka was from yesterday. Let me ask you this, mate. Liverpool. Let's move forward to Liverpool game. Is it tomorrow or is it Sunday? Sunday, isn't it?
Sunday.
What do we do again?
I'm not going to go because I need to prepare myself for the week ahead.
Yes, okay? You do. Yes,
so
you do.
I've got Bodo Glint. I've then got West Ham away. And then I've got Bodo Glint away. And, it's a big week. It's a big week ahead.
That is a massive week. Of course, it's all in 7 days, isn't it? Yeah, 8 days. I can't wait.
So I'm not going to go to Liverpool. I've decided I'm not going to go to Liverpool. I'm going to save my energy for once. You know,
you don't want that 6-hour disappointment like last time, right?
Yeah, shocking. I'm just not doing that again.
Is Lubo going?
No. No. I thought about going just so I could watch Liverpool win the Championship and say I was there when Liverpool won the cup, but no.
Yeah, fuck that. What do we do for the game, though, mate? What do you want to see? Do you want to see us like play a strong team? Do you want to see us play some of the young players? Do you want to see Mikey Moore get minutes? Do you want how do you want to see us shape up?
I just want to see us show some effort and determination. You know, go down fighting, not be the damp squib that we saw at Anfield in the semi-final, where I just stood there waiting for something to happen that never happened. You know, at least go down fighting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. you called him a donut from TV, mate. So
I know. With my camera, mate. I don't understand what's going on.
We were having that problem before, Jim. I said to you, like your camera's. It's not the same as it's not. Yeah, you do look like Casper.
The friendly ghosts.
It might be the fact that you're using the green screen or whatever. You're using an iPad tonight, so.
No, I'm not. I'm using my laptop now.
Oh, okay.
I'm using my laptop. Look, I'll take the green screen off, and still bad. See.
It's more cloudy than my bedroom after 24.
Yeah, anyone think I got smear all over my screen?
Don't know what's going on. So my internet dropped out for a second when you were giving your answer there. So you want to see Tottenham, like what level of strength on Sunday?
I just want to see us commit full stop to actually try to win a game, to look like we're trying to win a game.
No, I can hear that on that. But my question is more around in preparation for Bodo. Is it a game where we prepare, like where we go gung-ho attacking because that's what we're going to have to do in the home leg? Or do we go defensive? That's what we're going to have to do maybe in the away leg.
You know what I'd do? If I was a player, I'll tell you what I would do. I want to play in the semi-final of the Europa League. And I want to play in the final of the Europa League. So what am I going to do?
You're going to shape up and you're going to fix up, aren't you?
You're going to shape up and turn up against Liverpool and put on a shithouse performance. And make it difficult for the manager.
So we're doing the fake taxi. Yeah, that'd be awesome, mate. I think that but what players are still? What positions do you think are still up for grabs for the semi-final / final? Like, is Matisse Tell realistically? In a world where Sonny's fit,
Sonny's fit, Sonny plays. Simple.
And that's a disgrace.
Well, I think Odobert starts because Odobert will take on players. Look, let's be honest, right? I'm going to be brutally honest here. I do not expect to lose at all in the home game. As I said, their captain, creative, their inspiration is missing. Their midfield partner who plays alongside him is also missing. Their top striker is missing. And on Monday, the winger left the stadium in a protected boot. So
what's the realistic, or not? What's the reasonable expectation there? I
think we'll win 3-0. I reckon I can see us easily winning 3-0 and comfortably taking a comfortable lead to Bodo.
If we win 3-0, I promise you I'll go to the game with you. If we win 5 or 6-0, when we get to Bodo, I might just go into one of the saunas and I'll see you on the plane on the way home. I'm only kidding. Yeah, it's all theatre, boys. I don't really hang around like Beaver Street all day long. It's only a joke.
He's actually lying, right? Because he said to me, I really like to go scallop diving. And I'm not a very good diver. You know, I'm all right with a snorkel.
Scallop diving.
I'm all right with a snorkel, but the full tank, I haven't got my paddy certificate. But I'm happy to go whaling.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll all be whaling. If we end up getting booted out, mate, we'll all be whaling the whole way home, won't we?
I'll be very disappointed.
It costs so much money.
I'll be very upset if I don't see a penguin. Or at least a seal.
Seal, yeah.
Anything, yeah.
Anything rose on the day.
I should see the Northern Lights. I mean, I saw the fucking Northern Lights in Hertfordshire the other week. So hopefully I can flying 3 hours to Norway. I hope to see a bit of the Northern Lights.
I'm hoping to see the Southern Lights when I pull back the G-string. Enough of that one. Mate, let me ask you this. Which position, I've already asked you, which positions are
I'll go into which position. That's between you and the bird.
What's the so are we saying that Matisse Tell, even though he's going to try his best, essentially he's playing until Sonny's fit, and then when Sonny's fit, he's out. If you agree with that, then let's move over.
As Archie Gray was playing every week, 33 games, and then got ceremoniously dumped when the other players came back. Just the same as Mikey Moore did well, and then as soon as he did well, he was dropped. Same as Jed Spence was doing very well. Then as soon as they came back, he was dropped. So let's see.
When I first started reading that. Yeah, I lost you there for a second. Well, when I started reading that, it said that the on the chat the comment was split over 2 lines, but all I saw was a measured and confident 2 legs. I thought that was a pun about some brasses. And I realised, no, you're talking about football, which is what we should be doing because it's a Spurs show. Let me. So, is Brennan Johnson's space in the final take? Is he confirmed, or do you think Odebear can still take?
The reason I take Odebear is what I said to you earlier. Odebear's take-ons are far more successful than Brennan Johnson's, and if he's taken players on, basically for me, he's taken players on, and he's going to draw. He's going to draw fouls. He's going to create space for others to run into. So for me, he starts, and I can see Brennan. I'd be putting Brennan Johnson. Are we talking about for Liverpool? Sorry.
No. What I'm saying, like leading into, leading into the Bodo game.
In Bodo,
is there any position like? Are we assuming, right, that if we get to the final, let me make it easy.
You know the team, Sean. You know the team.
Exactly. Yeah. So the team is what? Vicario in goal, Porro, Udogie probably. Is there any chance that Jed Spence can do anything to get ahead of Udogie for the final if we get there?
Not with this manager. I mean, this manager talks shit, right? You know, he didn't want to play him, dropped him out of the Europa League squad, then realised he made a mistake, then declaring that he's made him born again, started to play fantastic, and then drops him. No, for me, I think the big question is if Kulu's fit. For me, I play Kulu.
That's the only one, isn't it? It's Kulu or Madison. That's the
Kulu, Bergvall. I put the Swedish. We're in Scandinavia, and I think we go for the Swedish house mafia. In the middle of the park there between Kulu and Bergvall. And then I'd throw in a Bentancur personally.
For the final, yeah?
For the semi and the final, yeah.
Right, so there's presuming everyone's fit, it's so Richarlison is going to be benched, it's Solanke, is it?
It will be Solanke unless he carries on being so wanky.
But if Richarlison scores a couple of goals on Sunday,
the question has to be asked, don't they? You know, if Richie's scoring and Solanke's not scoring, what manager would sit around? But this manager would. He'd carry on playing Solanke, and then when he didn't score, and he'd say, "Well, why didn't you play Richie?" He'll come up with some story. Listen, I hope Solanke goes out and he scores, a brace on the weekend, and he goes into the game confident. I don't see why we can't both players be confident. I'd like to see a situation come the final that if we don't have Sonny back, that I'd like to see Richarlison on the left, and I'd like to see Solanke through the middle with Odebear on the right-hand side, personally. Because I think...
The final?
Yeah. Because I think that they would bully... When
was the last time Richie played on the left-hand side? That was Conte levels, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's played there many, many times.
Under Ange?
He's played there many times.
Under Ange?
Yeah, he's played there under Ange last season. Played under Conte. It's not strange to play on the left-hand side for him.
No, I know Richie can play. I know Richie. I'm just saying, when was the last time Richie played?
He was better coming in off that left-hand side.
I don't even remember him. I don't remember Richie playing under Ange on the left. Maybe I could be wrong, but then my memory's like a.
Listen, look, and no one knows what's going on. I'm being summoned, Sean.
Yeah, we'll round it off, mate. We'll round it off. So, what's the score prediction for tomorrow? Sunday?
Sunday. I'll be very happy if we escape with 3-0.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's 2-0 written all over it for me.
If we can get through the first 20 minutes, it would be really encouraging if we could come out the first 20 minutes. And, I don't know what happens, right? But, when I used to do kids football, and before they came out, you give them the big team talk and you fire them up, you give them some JFK and a bit of Martin Luther King football around to get them all fired up. And they come out, and for the first 10 minutes, they're all over the place, they're fighting, and then they drop off. This lot, I don't know what he says in the changing room, game after game, 15, 20 minutes, we haven't even turned up. And it's worrying, it's worrying. Luckily for us, that third goal didn't go in. I mean, Chris Word's armpit was the difference on the VAR. But, people said, we played a lot better in the second half. We did, but Forest had one eye on the semi-final, took players off and said, you have the ball, we're quite happy. Murillo and Milenkovic, I thought, dealt with most of the things that were thrown their way, to be honest.
There's a question for you. Would you go to Forest and test their resolve for Milenkovic if you sold Romero?
Yeah, but, I mean, hello, they're going to be playing Champions League. Depends. If we won the Europa League, then yes.
They're not guaranteed in the Champions League yet, by the way. There's still lots of points to play.
Top five, I think, they deserve it.
No, I know. Yeah, but deserve and get isn't always the same thing, is it? Would you, if it was possible, would you be okay taking a link? Would you think he'd suit a high line system? Is what I'm asking.
Probably not. Probably not. And this is the thing: you have to. You see, Spurs are making a serious mistake again, because unless they have decided what manager they are hiring, they can't do any transfer business. They can't do any planning until they know the manager. So there's no first-person advantage, mover advantage in this transfer window. Remember, the transfer window split into two this season. It's the first 10 days.
So weird, isn't it? Such a weird thing.
Yeah, but it's for the Club World Cup.
Yeah, that affects what? How many teams are in the Club World Cup? How many?
2.
32
Premier League teams.
Oh yeah, 2 Premier League teams. But how many teams are in the Club World Cup?
32, I think.
32. Yeah, it's largely ridiculous that we can't carry on with our business. We've all got to put down our pens because someone else is playing cricket. Like what are we doing here? Like it's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous thing that we've got to slice and dice. It's mad. Anyway, whatever. It is what it is. But I just think that there's such little logic that goes on. So I wish I was in charge of the world, because I would just rule by logic. Just be logic. Common
it's illogical.
It is illogical.
It's illogical, Captain.
Right, let's round off, mate. Let you go and have your rest of your Friday night. Thank you, everyone, for coming in. Do me a favour, guys. Get over to Football Inc. Link in the chat. Smash the like, smash the subscribe. Get onto football. Get onto Jonny H3232 on Twitter. Get onto Insta's Talking Tottenham 1882 if you are on Insta. I'm not. And
on TikTok, if you're on Talking Tottenham 1882 on TikTok. And I am alive. You aren't looking at a ghost, although at the moment,
we'll see what happens next Friday week.
I might look like this. And worse.
We're doing a show. We are doing a show Friday afternoon, by the way. My bags are going to be down here. I'm going to look like I haven't slept well.
I don't think we're going to get back till 4 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll put our head down for a couple of hours, and then Friday we're back on it.
You mean Friday? Yeah, I think I'm on Last Word on Spurs on Friday night. Yeah,
after the game.
Yeah,
nice. All right, well, you'll catch me here. You'll catch me here anyway. I'll be here. I'll be pulling up the.
I'll join you. I'll join you. What's left of me? All right, guys. Listen, thanks for tuning in and listening to us to waffle and Sean talk about what he's doing in Bodo.
I'm not really doing any of it. Of course, I'm going out with the boys, getting smashed.
Hey, I'm going to go and look at spearfishing, and you go and look at.
We could go and do a little boat trip. We got a few hours, haven't we? Rather than like, singing songs like look, they tried to stop us. Look what we did. Thing I love most is going fishing. Let's go fishing, mate. Let's go fishing for the afternoon.
What did you come back over? I come back with a bag of squid,
£8 salmon,
and 3 crabs. I'm afraid you can't bring them into the country, sir.
Fucking Brexit's ruining my week again. Anyway, I love you all, guys. We'll leave it there. Get over to Johnny's channels, as aforementioned. Get over to Football Inc. We're back on that, and hit the like and the subscribe over here as well. And we'll see you. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Come
on, you Spurs. Don't embarrass us on Sunday, boys. Come on,
guys. Take care. Ciao. Have a good night. Bye bye.